Welcome to Two Crones and a Microphone. I am Linda.
I am Betty.
I'm Sally, and I'm just going to point out that we have someone we're interviewing today, Libby, and I'll let you say hello on your own, Libby.
I'm Libby Clarke. Thank you so much for having me.
Betty will take it from here.
Yes. I feel like I'm in a football game. I just started too early. Okay, so Libby came to us as our producer from our friend Jen. And if you remember, Jen did 2 podcasts for us, episodes 61 and 63. Libby is married to Jen. They have 1 child.
Yeah.
Who's a handful. She's a good girl. She's a good girl. And Libby has really helped us with the podcast to help us all pull it together. She has taught us a lot about the podcast, how to take the podcast over, which is really great. You know, we've all learned so many things. And her company is stonerollercoop.com. So if you're interested in engaging with someone who does not give you the fish, but the fishing pole, which I highly recommend, I would definitely get in touch with her. She's done a great job for us. And there are other things about Libby that you need to know because she's an amazing, amazing woman. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Libby. Go for it.
Thank you so much. Well, I first of all, I've loved working with you. It's been wonderful. I cultivate clients. I cultivate friends. And it's something that we'll talk about today with gardening. I have I believe in the light, but directive touch. I think it's a big gift to be like, maybe try this. If that doesn't work, maybe try that. That applies across all the facets of my life. I'm an artist and teacher. I'm a designer. I am also now a seminarian. I am a postulant for the Holy Orders of Priesthood in the Diocese of Newark for the Episcopal Church. So hopefully in 3 years, I will be a priest. Which
is amazing.
That's all thanks to Jen. I mean, when Jen and I met, I was a very grumpy. I was claiming atheism, but I'm not going to say that for anybody else, but I was never truly capable of that.
I know.
And she raised our daughter, went to church every Sunday with our daughter, and I slowly warmed over the years, and look at what's happened. And knowing all of you, I've known y'all, 15 years now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Sally, I met you later because I think it was like 14 years for you, but knowing y'all has been a huge part of my life. That like a quiet rising and just cultivating, very gentle, forming of each other. I love y'all. So thank you for welcoming me here.
Talk about spiritual journeying and discovering where your path actually leads you.
Yes.
I know that we haven't really designed this podcast to be on that topic, but remember, our whole year has been on the topic of journeying and finding a personal pilgrimage, and everything has sort of been linked into that. So I love that you said that, Libby, because it really ties into how we've tried to approach this year of recording. So thank you for the nod to that. And again, I mean, I know that wasn't meant to be our topic for today, but that's a whole nother beautiful part of what you bring, I think, not just for yourself and your family, but for everyone who knows you.
Oh, thank you. I know we're talking about gardening, and I was thinking about it all, and we'll get into it as we go, but the 10 years that I've spent getting to know my lawn, because it started out as a lawn and now it's a food forest.
I love it.
Has been a spiritual journey. It's been a spiritual journey.
Yes.
It has humbled me. It's like, no, you're not growing that there. You're growing it over there without, I mean, it's been this wonderful kind of, it just, everything kind of accumulates. I do think that people need to realize that those little daily things they do make a life. And my going out in my front yard and always watering whatever had managed to grow meant that I talked to everybody who passed by, and meant that I mean, it's just like everything kind of maps like neurons. So absolutely, talking with y'all regularly has changed my life. Being with Jen changed it's just, we have more power and more connection than we know is what I'm realizing. So
Well put.
yeah, so it's just, that's, I had to turn off my phone because of course I'm getting beeps, but I apologize. I will, anyway, so that's cut off now. But anyway, so I just wanted to say that before we started formally, because it's just, everything's connected.
It is connected. I love that you came in with the word cultivate, because cultivate applies not only to agricultural farming, but also to the development of self, the development of others, educational realms. But it is about devotion. And that is, I think, a key element, both in the garden and a way of living a life. It's a devotional practice.
And I mean, my garden started in full here. When we moved here, we had nothing. But when COVID hit, I'd already started a couple things, but I didn't have a practice. And every morning coming out and watering the garden and actually weeding and actually just learning, my dirt was mostly clay. I'm in New Jersey. There's a little bit of loam. There's a huge amount of clay, and there's no rocks. I grew up in Rockbridge County. I had to really introduce myself to every square inch of my yard. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. But it also, it changed how my time just changed the way I metered time. It changed how I spoke to people. I'm only now, because of sitting down to talk to you about it, I am only now realizing how much planting things and watching them and taking part in their growing completely changed the course of my life. Yeah.
Wow.
And I chuckled when you said your garden had no rocks, because my garden has more rocks than it has dirt. And it's a huge awareness of why there are so many beautiful rock gardens.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the East, because every time we dig, we buy we bring rocks. So of course we're going to edge our garden when we finish it with all the rocks. We're going to make a rock wall around it, because what else do you do with the rocks? Because there are so many of them.
But the joke is that Pennsylvania grows rocks. That's our crop.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That is
and
so
they emerge,
good.
right?
Yeah,
the rocks come up. Ocean used to talk about that. That as you grow things, the rocks come to the surface, and you birth rocks no matter where you are. But certainly true here.
Yeah.
So we have your rocks, Libby.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
We have your rocks.
I grew up in Rockbridge County, Virginia, on a family farm. We were subsistence farmers. We were just a little family. Literally, we had 150 rented acres, and grew almost everything we wanted to eat, except for bread. We didn't grow wheat. We raised all the meat. We raised lots of animals who only had one bad day, only the one. So I had this whole background in it and this relationship with it, but it was much more of a resting from the earth. It was like, no, we need this. We have to have this. To have a casual, it's not been casual for me, but my family doesn't absolutely depend on my garden. So it's been much more of a conversational tone. And I've let this patch of dirt tell me what I, in my current state, can grow. And right now it's horseradish, chard, and anything that bears a berry quivers at my touch in New Jersey. I don't know what it is. But but tomatoes, well, we're still talking. But we do. But in that sense, it's been much more of a being in this time and place. And, like I said, my wife and child don't generally garden with me, but Madeline, my child, has woken up almost every summer morning to a bowl of fresh raspberries. I grow,
Wow.
I mean, it's made me able to, it gets me out of bed even when I'm tired. So I can go down, pick the berries, wash them off, have them ready, make sure they're dry because she doesn't really like them wet. So, I mean, it's changed my life all summer long so that I can give my child fresh berries.
Wow.
So yeah, and the neighborhood kids, they're champagne raspberries that first burst on the scene for me. We have a
Yeah.
whole hedgerow of them, and
Yeah.
the neighborhood kids now think that raspberries come in champagne color. Like it's been a fixture.
I
But
love it.
yeah, so I mean, it's been a lot more collaborative than my childhood gardens were.
Yeah.
A-
Mm.
And that once again, it's such a transformational practice to go out and say, well, what I mean, I sow overhand and I'm like, well, let's see what grows. And then it's always a surprise.
Mhm.
But that cultivation, it's cultivation of self, it's cultivation of a relationship with a time and place.
Yes.
And then, I'll bring in sheaves of chard all summer long. And Jen's chard and potatoes. Oh my gosh. Who knew that? I mean, I had no idea you could eat potatoes and chard together. Oh, I can grow potatoes.
I was going to ask you, yeah.
Excellent.
My record so far was about 75 to 100 pounds of potatoes on about a pallet-sized
Wow.
patch of dirt.
Woo!
We got 3 plantings that summer because it was such a long summer. And, I mean, it's harder with a full-time job, but luckily I work from home now, so we're gonna have potatoes again.
Oh,
So, but I mean, I think what generally all of this has made me realize is that, yes, everybody should know how to grow things out of dirt. And given how hard things are getting, I think, I can't wait to listen to your Victory Garden episode because that is a wonderful thing for everybody to do for themselves, to have a relationship with their food, to have a relationship with how they're grown, how the vegetables that they eat are grown, to start developing a fertilizer tea barrel so that they can even make their own fertilizer. We
Mhm.
compost. We make fertilizer tea. We have a worm house. All of this is just tucked in these little. I mean, we have like a tenth of an acre. I don't even know. It's a tiny little yard, but for me, it's just become a meditative practice that I have to do every day. I don't feel right unless I've
Wow.
touched dirt and done something. It doesn't have to be much. And
mhm.
beyond taking care of ourselves and beyond knowing where our food comes from, this is where we belong.
Exactly.
What are we doing inside? Go outside and play. Go outside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a way to play.
It
Exactly.
is. It is. Yeah. All right. I have a question.
Yes. Okay.
What
sorry.
the heck is a worm house?
A worm house. Oh my gosh.
You don't know? Oh,
Oh my gosh.
I'm a Brooklyn girl. You forgot. Brooklyn.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. So now because there are red worms that you can buy. There's different kinds of worms you can buy. But basically it's a stacked container. I have a purchased one now and it's a little upscale for me, but we're working with it. But you just have a stacked container where you can have garbage, food waste, nothing with meat or anything that would bring
Yeah.
but you have food waste and the worms work it through and it slowly crumbles down so that you gather the food, the worm casings and the worm like liquid at the bottom. It is nuclear powered plant food. It is,
Wow.
and it processes. Sally, would you say 3 weeks for it to process from one to the other?
Yeah, it doesn't take very long. I
Not long
had
at all.
one in when I lived in Oregon. I had a worm bin.
And it'll keep going. And I tried, poor Jen. I brought it inside my first year that I had it, and I
Oh,
kept it
dear.
going all winter long. So we had fruit flies all winter long. And y'all know my bride.
Yeah.
My sweet wife put up with this, and she's gone through all my iterations. Like I had shelves of seedlings. Now I just throw the seeds out in fall, and I see what comes up in spring. Like I have gotten so much more, not casual, just assured that all
Yeah.
this stuff that we try to maximize output. I need tomatoes the size of my child's head. No, let's see what grows and
GMO
like,
seeds. No.
yeah. Oh my gosh. And then the mule seeds. Let's talk. Oh my gosh, that makes me so mad. But
See, we touched on that in our last podcast.
Yeah.
It's problematic. It is
I,
not the real deal.
and it's like it totters into blaspheme to me. I mean, I don't use
Yeah.
that lightly. Like there are very few things I call that offensive, but mule seeds, GMO seeds, I'm just like, really, y'all? Can we please reconsider this? We now have one banana worldwide, one
Oh,
type of
good grief.
banana. It would
Oh,
take one blight and we'd be stuck with those little tiny bananas and plantains. I mean, because we have gone monoculture on so
Right.
many core crops, we have
Right.
made ourselves so absolutely disastrously. And I'm speaking off the cuff, and somebody in the comments will probably cite a few exceptions, but still, there are many monoculture type crops that we need to deal with. We need to diversify, bring back the heirloom seeds,
That's
bring
right.
back, I mean, you know, I was so lucky. I mean, one year I planted a bunch of peas beside each other, and I have my own variety of pea because they cross pollinate so easily. Absolutely
Oh.
did not mean to. And it's an okay pea. I mean, it's an okay pea. I always plant a few of the old ones the next year. But it's really, we are in collaboration with a living, breathing entity upon which we live called Earth. And we need to stop acting like we can give it, timelines, deadlines, productivity, what's it called? Quotas. I mean, we need to deindustrialize ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And a yard garden, a little tiny plot of dirt you can scratch is a chance to do that. And then you can scale up. Once you get the rhythm, you can scale up. Because it's just,
Well,
the earth is so receptive and so kind.
I love the way you talked about that, Libby. And those of you who are
so
listening to
good.
this podcast before you listen to the Victory Gardening podcast, because some of you might be doing that. I mean, I talked in there about my grandfather and grandmother lived in the city in Cleveland, and half their backyard was a garden, what most people would call a tiny garden when you think
Mhm.
about gardening nowadays. And certainly compared to the garden that we're in the process of building, which is much larger. But it was so productive. It's what you were saying. You can have a tiny piece of land, and they had not really fruits, but fresh vegetables
Oh my gosh.
kind of
Fresh
all year
lettuce.
long. They banked it in the wintertime, and the way they put things, they were harvesting things in the wintertime as well in the cold Cleveland, right off Lake Erie
Yeah.
climate. And so it
Just a
is
little glass box.
doable. They knew how to do that because they were connected to the earth, just what you're talking about.
The best
I love
winter,
it.
the best winter greenhouse I had, like Madeline had one of those climbing domes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I wrapped it in plastic. It was the best winter. I mean, I wish I'd kept it. Now we have a trampoline. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I shouldn't say that because the insurance company might figure it out. But oh well, we have a trampoline that I'm like, how can I grow on this? But a glass box, especially with a small family, you don't need acres to just keep the flow going. It's a daily practice of saying please and thank you. Like, please may I
Yeah.
have this. Here's some water. Thank you. I'm harvesting and I'm weeding.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. And it's just the abundance never ceases if you do the work. It's like when people ask me about the power of prayer, I'm like, prayer is the seed, and then you water and you tend and you give thanks. And look at that, the harvest is there. Like, that's the relationship with creation that I'm trying to get people to like get excited about. It's like, well, if you participate, it's awesome. But if you treat it like a one-armed jack, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you know? So,
This
I
is
mean,
fabulous. I love your emphasis on conversation too, because of course that's at the core of what Two Crones is about. Open
Yeah.
up, have that conversation with the earth, with everything around us, with
Mhm.
the spirit beings. You don't know this yet, but I'm going to tell you, Libby, that we just decided we're going to do a third gardening podcast this summer. It's going to be called Unseen Helpers in Your Garden.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, and like they just talking about how the ladybug babies eat the all the aphids.
Oh,
I hope
yes.
is there a use for the garden slug? Because they are actually gorgeous. Have you seen a garden slug up close? I know they're
Oh,
disgusting,
yeah.
but they're so resplendent and just walking around. I mean, they're really gorgeous, but the slime trail is gross. But I hope that they're useful. I hope I don't. People always immediately
Okay,
hate.
Libby. I used to drown them in beer in
Right.
Oregon
That was the
because
old
there are
recipe.
so many of them that
Yeah.
you do not harvest anything because the slugs harvested
So
before
darn.
you.
I was like,
Yeah.
is there some
I
hidden
Yeah.
don't
thing that
know. You let me know what the use of those ugly garden slugs are, because I
I will
remember
try?
when I was a kid and they came out, we'd be running outside barefoot and you'd step on those guys and it's so disgusting.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And salt. And there's always one
Oh, yeah,
dog in the
yeah.
house that'll try to eat him and be like, oh,
Oh, dear.
Oh.
oh. I think our dog Fred. We
All
have a
right.
dog named Fred who
That
did
will
that.
be my mission. I'll probably write it into a blog, The Value
Yeah.
of Garden Slugs.
There's gotta be something. I mean, but
Because
I mean,
everything does have a purpose. We
it
all
has
know this. So you've caused me to think, all right, what
right.
is the purpose of a garden slug? I'll have
Well,
to think about
it's
it.
important. Everything is here for a reason. Huh.
Well,
So
look, at least your garden slugs died happy. You drowned them
woo!
in beer. So you were compassionate.
As
I mean,
opposed to because there were so many slugs in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
yes.
And the Cub Scouts would take salt and
Mhm.
crumble it on top of them, and then they'd go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they can't handle that. And so then we had to have
No.
a discussion about murdering slugs.
Aw.
Drowning them in beer is really the same thing.
Wow.
Those are the
But
kind
they're
of
happy. They're
those are
happy.
Right,
So
those are
right.
the
There's,
yeah.
but I mean, you know, I can't wait to hear that too. I will say that as I developed a relationship with my garden and with the way that people handle growth, like every year there's that lawn clipping, they do the lawn clipping pickup where people are throwing out hundreds of pounds of beautiful leaf mulch and
Yes.
lawn clippings that they've sprayed pesticides on. I'm like, don't spray anything. Leave the leaves down.
Yes.
Um, leave your stalks in the garden, and then if you do mow your lawn, if you haven't sprayed it, throw it in a barrel with a mosquito sink and some water, and you'll get rid of the mosquitoes. And I mean, my fertilizer tea, I started it last October. It literally has the halls of mentholyptus waves coming off of it. It stinks so bad, but everything just like my elderberry plant, I think quadrupled in size. I mean,
oh.
it started,
Wow.
and I mean, that elderberry sat there and did nothing for 4 years. And last year it kind of popped out a couple of
Wow.
handfuls of berries. Now it's almost to the railing of the deck, which is a story tall, and
Wow.
it's going bananas. And it's just, I mean,
Fantastic.
I don't know.
Tell us what's in your fertilizer tea. How do you make a fertilizer tea barrel? Because I wanted to double back, but I didn't want to interrupt our
No worries.
flow.
Well, I found somebody was throwing out an old rain barrel, and that's
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's like a food safe barrel with a spigot on the bottom.
Yes.
And I rolled it into my yard and I put it up and I threw in all my clippings from my lawn, green leaves. I didn't put brown leaves in, sticks, anything, even like corn husks, anything that was just plant material that were food, like plants that we could viably eat. I wouldn't
Yeah.
put in poison ivy, for instance.
Okay.
But and then I filled it up with water and I threw in mosquito sinks, which are mosquito treatment pellets that they don't harm us at all. They just make the eggs non-viable so that the mosquitoes will come take a
Great.
sip, and then they're just a one generation.
Yeah.
And that way it also becomes a mosquito trap, which means that your township will probably let you have this big barrel of resting water, because some townships are very sensitized or cities are very sensitized to mosquito kind of breeding grounds, and rightfully
Yes.
so. So I put in a couple mosquito sinks every month, and I empty it out, and this green, incredibly stinky, you know, if you ever grew linen, you have to ret it, you have to rot it, and
Yes.
it smells. I like to compare it to God's armpit. I'm just like, this is fecundity. This is fertility. And I mean, my poor neighbor who's been so kind about the years of cow manure, and then I tried fermented chicken poop. I mean, he's been so
Right.
kind. I
Right.
put this out, and he was like, once my eyes stopped watering, it was fine. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And the dogs for like a week, they were just like, what happened? I mean, but then it faded. And everything just was, I mean, all the berry bushes just exploded. We also had a really, really hard winter, which we hadn't had in a while.
That's right.
And we need hard winters. We
Yeah.
need, every once in a while you need to let your plants go really dry. I mean, you don't pick a tomato right after you've watered it. It'll taste watery. Like you have to understand there's a point to how plants work. But yeah, the fertilizer tea, you just let everything rot. I like to let it go at least 3 months before I use it. The stinkier, the better. This stuff, I started it when I cleaned my yard in October.
Yeah.
And I started using it in February and April. And like I said, it probably would wink back at me at this point. It's just, but I keep topping it off when I use a bunch, and I just go around and I water the base of the plants every once in a while, because, plants also need to eat regularly. And, especially, I mean, plants like, root vegetables that are growing really big underneath, like onions and potatoes and things like that, they do get hungry, and they will like little tiny potatoes unless you feed them. And then, oh my gosh, you just have to watch your, the makeup of the fertilizer. So you have to know your plants a little more specifically there.
Yeah.
But I just throw wood ash on my potato pile every once in a while, because that's got a nice phosphorus to it.
Yes.
If it's clean wood.
Yes.
Now,
Right.
I'm saying all this so casually. Every single bit of this was me learning this finally as an adult, when my garden would be like, I actually need you to pay attention to something here. Like when my potato plants all wilted and died, I had to go and look it up. It was like, no, please, you need to add some of this mineral, of that, of this. So I stopped worrying about harvest and started just loving the cultivation. And then the harvest came. Like, it's like, oh, if I pay attention to the process, the results just come. Oh, and I mean, not invariably, but at least the pressure's off. Like, enjoy the ride.
There we
And
are.
yeah, and I always have one potted mint, like usually like a catnip or something, because when it starts to wilt, I know I absolutely have to water everything.
Got it.
So
Yep. Because they're so hardy. Yeah.
They're so hardy, and if they start looking a little sad, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
my tomatoes are gonna be so mad at me.
Yeah.
So I've learned to cooperate. Like the mint is my watch out plant. Like I plant it, he's right on the stoop, and all the
Very good.
adolescent tomcats come and roll their own and chew on it. But if he starts wilting, I know that I've been too lazy. And I'm so thankful to that plant.
Yeah.
But and also just I have plants that I've known for years now. I have a cherry tree, and it's it's huge now. It's covered with cherries this year. I planted it with Madeline when Madeline was 4, and it was this tall.
Oh
And
my
now
gosh.
it is a full-grown tree 10 years later.
Wow.
And Madeline and I are going to climb ladders and pick cherries all weekend to freeze. That is something I want her to know. I don't need her to know how to
Yes.
weed a garden every morning right now. I need her to know
Yes.
that what we did then can be this now. And
Yes.
she'll get discipline later. But anyway, I know that I am a talker. So if you need to like flag me down, you just let me know, because I will literally talk your ear off about gardening. I will drive you away.
No, this has been so engaging and so richly detailed. And of course, we love the way you present things. So anecdotal evidence, stories, all the good stuff. Go ahead, Sally. Sorry to
Uh,
interrupt.
No, and I know you're talking about plants and gardening, Libby, but it's a life lesson about
Yes.
and releasing and nurturing and paying
Yes.
attention to
Yes.
your plants, to having a relationship with them and a relationship with the earth. And it's lovely, just lovely.
So
Thank you.
wonderful.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
glad you tied it together too with the end, with whatever end result there is, because I did want to ask just an open-ended question. And then and you're saying thank you. You already said this if you're
yeah.
harvesting something. So right there,
Oh,
there's the love and the gratitude.
oh, absolutely. And I mean, harvest is, I mean, it's, first of all, I believe in walking prayer. I believe,
Mm,
any act I take is prayer. Any time of rest is meditation and listening for the answer.
yeah.
And harvest is a prayer of such gratitude.
Yes.
Um, and, you know, like it's also a chance for restraint because I leave one lettuce plant to go full seed because I like to grow
Mhm.
my own seeds.
Mhm.
I like to, like right now the chard is going bananas because it bolted. So we're going to have tons of chard seeds now.
Wow.
And then harvesting those seeds, yet again, it's such a chance for every single one of those seeds that could feed my family for a season. That
Yes.
the possibility of abundance is so mind-boggling. And it's like, how can I fret over traffic? How can I be mad that somebody didn't remember my name? Like, I mean, it's like, look at my chard plant just gave me 50 gardens worth of seeds. How can I possibly be angry today?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, it makes me realize, I mean, I'm part of a much larger and beneficent universe and creation that has every intention of making sure we all have enough. If we get out of the way or if we take part, if we jump into the flow of things, we can instantaneously be in touch with this beneficence, however we can. And like, in Brooklyn, I used to just take the butts of the lettuce and put them in the windowsill, and they would grow little leaves, and we'd trim them off. And you can grow spring onions from one little clipping, like the bottom of the spring onion. You can have spring onion clippings for months off of one little thingy. I mean, the same with garlic. You could put a little garlic clove, and you'd have garlic sprouts for months. It's not that you need an acre to do this. You need a cup of dirt and willingness and a seed, one little seed.
Oh,
Um, and one thing I did want to say is that I am, of course, in very much in the Christian tradition. It's what I have uh, dedicated the rest of my life to. But I'm also a country girl, and you know, we loved collard greens growing up. Collard greens are a mustard seed variation, a variant of the mustard plant. Every single culture has a variation of the mustard plant in terms of kohlrabi,
mhm.
radishes,
Yes.
broccoli, cauliflower. I mean, like, look at what we've done over time for each other with going from one little weed that it's got tiny little seeds. And of course, there's the Christian parable of the mustard seed. But I'm like, let's think about this as humans across all traditions. Look at what growing things has done for us. We have changed one little weed on the side of the path and its seed into hundreds of kinds of different possible foods for our beloveds. Like that's what cultivation is to me. We have no idea the positive impact we can have if we just stop and listen and take part in growing something. We have no idea what can happen. It's just and it always changes us if we are willing to grow beside it and be open. So I mean, my very unkempt garden is a mirror of my soul, but it's, I mean, it's become a fixture not only in my life, but my neighborhood's life
Yes.
and my family's life. Like, we're going to be picking red currants in a month. And so we have a whole red currant discipline. We're gonna see if we want to make a tincture out of the elderberry flowers or do we want to wait for the elderberries? We're going to make that decision together. Does anybody want some homegrown horseradish? Because it won't stop growing. So it's like, you know.
Yes, because then it
as-
sets us up for the next segment of fire cider, which we
That's
love
right.
making
Yes.
in the fall.
There we go. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you set on. I mean, it's going out my
Yay.
ear.
Okay,
And
thank
sage.
you.
So yeah. So anyway,
Mm.
but once again, because of you ladies, because of the Crones, I've been able to frame my garden even more as a spiritual practice. Like y'all's influence means that I no longer kill all my mugwort. I have 2 stalks of mugwort right now in the front yard that are about my height.
Yay.
And I can't wait to learn how to make a mugwort wand because
Yes, I was just thinking yesterday because I have mugwort growing wild outside. Of course, it loves it here.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I think it's time to teach how to harvest and make a mugwort wand.
Yep.
Well, I've got 2 very stout mugwort plants in the front and several hundred dozen in the back. Because I finally, because, you know, what makes something a weed is just intention on our part.
That's right.
Like, I mean, and even poison ivy. Poison ivy is vital it's a sacred plant. In Provincetown, you wouldn't have a beach without poison ivy. It's a much maligned plant where we are, of course, and it causes issues, but that plant is a blessing.
It's a protector.
It is absolutely a protector.
Yep.
And we have to, instead of spraying DDT or whatever we're doing to get rid of it, we can learn better measures of abatement and recognize that this is not always a problem. And we do not need to treat it with the nuclear option every single time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, this has been so delightful. And we're coming to the end of our podcast. So I wonder, is there any one last thing that you would like to share, or would you like to wrap up, or anything that just drops in your consciousness that you think would be interesting for our listeners to hear?
When I was teaching full time, I would always tell my students, it doesn't matter where you jump in the river, you're going to get wet. And the same thing happens with gardening. Like, it doesn't matter where you drop that seed into dirt, you can grow something. It belongs to you. It is your birthright as a being on this planet. Even birds grow things. I've got 2 little volunteer cherry trees completely coming from birds. Like, take part. Demystify it. Just grab a cup of dirt and see what you learn. And if it doesn't grow, try again, because this is absolutely part of your right as a living being on this planet, is to make something grow. So,
Thank you.
I think
Amen.
that's an amazing wisdom practice. And we invite you to drop the seed.
That's right.
Find some way to drop a seed and have an experience. Whatever that experience is.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And it's all valuable. So, and you will grow. If the plant doesn't, you do. There's no harm, no foul. So,
That's right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And let us know if you drop the seed. Get on one of the social media things and say, hey, I took Libby's wisdom practice and this is what happened. Or this
Here
is what
it is. You can
happened.
send a picture of it. We'll post your picture.
There's no such thing as not having a green thumb, because it's just people are so fearful. And it's like, stop expecting to wake up to a full banana tree. Like, just
Right.
see what sprouts and dance for that bean sprout. So
That's
anyway.
right.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for having me. I'm so honored to finally be on the podcast.
Yay! This has been delightful in so many ways. I can hardly wait to re-listen to it myself.
I know.
Okay. Well, we do need to wrap up. And so I'm going to invite you to go find your glimmer, find that micro moment that is the still point for you and the reconnection with our beautiful world.
I would second that heartily.
And I think our muddy waters have cleared up a bit with this podcast. It was such a great podcast. A lot of fun, a lot of laughter. and a lot of really good information on how to
Yes.
honor our Mother Earth.
Here, here.
And I love it because we're talking about the muddy waters and really, what have we talked about? How to create a worm bin, how to
Yeah.
create some really foul smelling stuff that will fertilize your garden.
So great.
and do some links to that. I think I'm going to have to
Absolutely.
blog some resources for you guys around the stuff that Libby's talking about, and Libby may jump
Yes.
in and help me with that.
I'll send you some too.
So
Yeah, I have some.
that if you want to do that, you can absolutely do that, because remember, no matter what you're doing, whether it's creating a worm bin or creating some foul sludge from rainwater, we are always surrounded by beauty. And I think you gave us so many ways today to remember that we are always surrounded in beauty and that we are creating that beauty, whether it's giving a champagne berry to a kid who lives in the city who may know nothing about gardening, but now is intrigued because you have a raspberry hedge and a tree full of cherries.
Yeah.
That there are a lot of ways that we can create beauty and remind others that we are always surrounded in beauty. So remember, Kidishte, all is made beautiful. Thank you for reminding us of that, Libby.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. What a wonderful podcast. Thank you.
It was.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, if you're enjoying Two Crones and a Microphone, please like this video and hit the subscribe button. Enjoy timeless wisdom from modern times, all served up by women in the know.